Hello, hello students. How are you all? Hope you all are fine. So today we are going to move with our next topic, the last leaf, Unit 3, page number 67. Now, yes, the topic last leaf. This extract is being written, or the story is written by Henry, that revolves around two young women, Sue and Jonesy, who were struggling artists and they were living together. Jonesy becomes ill due to pneumonia and the doctor predicts that she may not survive for long unless she has a will to live. Jonesy is obsessed with the falling leaves of an ivy tree and thinks that she is going to die after the last leaf falls. She takes the help of the another artist, Birman, who paints an ivy leaf outside her window. Sue survives, but Mr. Birman dies as he is struck by pneumonia. So let us move ahead and see what is there in the story. Now these two ladies, Sue and Jonesy, two young women, they both were struggling artists and they were living together in a studio in a flat. And Jonesy becomes ill with an attack of a pneumonia, and the doctor predicts that she will live only if she has a will to live. Now just imagine one leaf can predict your future. See, once a person has made the mindset that yes, or he had believed that yes, I can do a particular thing or I cannot do particular thing. Many times we say that yes, horse riding is not my cup of tea. That means you have declared that your comfort zone cannot go beyond that. So it is your belief who creates or what creates your destiny. So here also this story is similar. In the story we find that the Jonesy who is ill, she starts believing that when the leaves fall, all the leaves fall from the tree, she is also going to die. Can you believe this? So let us see what is stored for us in the story. The last leaf. In the poorer parts of New York, there was a colony where many struggling artists lived. Among them were Sue and Jonesy. They had come to New York from the different parts of United States. That means they had came from the different part of the United States, but they had came to New York and both were struggling artists. Struggling artists means not yet achieved success in whatever we do, so they were just trying to get success. When they met, they found that they shared the same interest and they became friends. They shared a flat and set up a joint studio trying to earn a living through art. That means they were trying to earn some income to survive through their art. Jonesy was small, thin and not very strong. That means here how her physique was, it is being described here. After spending a few months in New York, she became ill with pneumonia. In those days, it was not easy to cure pneumonia patients. Though Sue looked after her well, Jonesy showed no sign of improvement. Though the friend Sue, she looked after her very well. She took care of her. But Jonesy did not show any sign of improvement. One day, the doctor told Sue that Jonesy had one chance in 10 and the chance is for her to the want to live. He said, your little lady has made up her mind that she is not going to get well. He told Sue that medicines alone did not help if the patients did not wish to live. See, once we had made in our mind Once we have programmed our mind that yes, this cannot be done, that means however you try hard, you will not achieve that. So it is our belief, it is our conviction which ultimately creates our destiny. So here she had already made up her mind that she is not going to survive. In that case, the doctor said, if she wants to live, that means she has only to make her mind that yes, I will live. It is up to her wish that she want to live or she want to survive. So the both the friends were there, and she was really concerned about the journey. That day, Jonesy just lay in the bed without making any sound or movement. First, Sue thought that she had fallen asleep, but then she noticed that Jonesy was looking out of the window and was counting something again and again in a very low voice, almost a whisper. Now, that day, Jonesy was laying on the bed, and Sue thought that she was fast asleep. She was sleeping. But then, when she saw her, that she noticed that Jonesy, she was counting something in a very low voice, almost a whisper. Whisper means you are making a noise, but it is almost negligible, cannot be heard properly. Sue too looked out of the window, but there was nothing to see. She also tried to look out of the window, but there was nothing to see. Only an old ivy vine, gnarled and decayed at the roots, climbed halfway up the brick wall. Ivy vine is it is a kind of a strong creeper, you can call it. It has a green leaves and then the yellow berries it has. And gnarl means what? Somewhere twisted. As the vine was very old also, so it was twisted and the roots were also decayed. And it was climbed half up the brick wall. The cold breath of the autumn had taken away most of the leaves. Only the skeleton branches were left, clinging to the bricks. What is it, dear? Asked you. 6, said Jonesy. They are falling faster now. 3 days ago, they were almost 100. So the Sue, in the curiosity, she was asking, what happened, my dear? Then Jonesy answered that few days earlier there were 100 in the leaves. Now only 6 are left. That was a very strange answer indeed. See how she was busy counting that now only 6 are left. So this kind of the behavior was very strange. It made my headache to count them, but now it's easy. There goes another one. There are only 5 left now. 5? What dear? Leaves on the ivy vine. When the last one falls, I must go too. I have known that for 3 days. Didn't the doctor tell you? As Jonesy was not feeling well, she had also called the doctor, so she was giving the explanation that when the last leaf will fall, she is also going to die. She will be no more. Oh, I never heard of such nonsense, said Steve. What? Have old vine ivy leaves to do with your getting well? And you used to love that vine also. Don't be silly. The doctor said that you had excellent chances of getting well. Take some broth now and let me get back to my work. Broth means it is a kind of hot soup. So she told that now you just have this hot soup and let me go back to the work. But Jonesy just kept looking out of the window. There goes another. No, I don't want any broth. So she said, I don't want any soup. That leaves just 4. I want to see the last leaf fall before it gets dark. Then I will go too. See what kind of conviction, what kind of belief she had in her mind. Jonesy said, Sue, will you promise me to keep your eyes closed and not look out the window until I'm done working? As she was busy in working, so she said, kindly just you promise me that you're going to keep your eyes closed. I must hand this drawing in tomorrow. I need the light, otherwise I would have closed the window. I don't want you to keep looking at those silly ivy leaves. So she said, I need to complete these paintings, but if I close the windows, there will not be any light. So you please promise that you are not going to look at those leaves, and you close your eyes. Tell me as soon as you have finished, said Jonesy, closing her eyes, because I want to see the last one fall. The last one fall. See how curious she was. Try to sleep, said Sue. I must call Billman up to be my model for the old man that I'm drawing. I'm not being gone a minute. Old Birman was a painter who lived on the ground floor, but he was a failure in art. That means he was not a successful person. For 40 years, he had welded the brush. Welded the brush means he had painted number of pictures, but had not made any money. He had been always about to paint a masterpiece. He always had in the corner of the mind that he wanted to paint a masterpiece, but had never yet begun. For several years, he had only made a few paintings. He earned a little by serving as a model to the young artists in the colony. Several years he had just wanted to paint a masterpiece, but he had hardly earned anything. And then he also was an artist for the young. He was like a model for the young artist who would not afford other models. He always talked for his coming masterpiece. He used to tell everybody that he, indeed, in his life, he want to paint a masterpiece, a unique piece that after his death also people would like to remember him. So he had all those things in his mind. Sue told Berman about the Johnsey's fancy. Fancy means something when you start imagining, when you start thinking in your own way. Old Berman was shocked that anyone could have such idiotic imaginings. Idiotic imaginings means not acceptable. What he cried, are there people in the world foolish enough to die because of the leaves dropping off? So he was also puzzled. He was also amazed. He was also in a state of confusion that nowadays in this kind of the world, can anyone believe that has such foolish notions that if the leaf is going to fall, then even I will also die. So here also in this picture you can see that uh, how the Sue said that please close your eyes and sleep. I need to work. And then she consulted Mr. Birman, and the Birman was also wondering. He was pondering that how can such a person think also. So here Mr. Birman was wondering that how it is possible. I have not heard of such a thing. Why did you allow this thought to enter her brain? So he was thinking, and he also told Sue that, why did you allow such thought to enter her brain? She is very ill and weak, said Sue, and the fever has made her mind full of fancies. And she answered, she replied that as she is very ill and weak, and the fever had made her mind full of fancies. That means because of the fever, she has all those imagination created in her mind. This place is not good for Miss Johnsy. Someday I will paint a masterpiece and we shall all go away. Yes, said Bellman. So he was said that I'll paint a masterpiece and then we'll all go away. Jonesy was sleeping when the two went upstairs. Sue allowed Bellman the ivy vine. Uh, That means here the Sue showed the women the ivy vine that Jonesy saw through the window. They looked at each other for a moment without speaking, and then they began their work. Outside, a cold rain was falling continuously, mingled with snow. That means along with the rain, cold rain, there was also snow mixed with it. Sue closed the window. Next morning, when the Sue woke up, she found that Jonesy was staring at the closed window again dull, wide open eyes. So the next day also, what they saw uh, that she was eagerly waiting for the closed window to get open. So she said, "Open the window, I want to see," she ordered. And Sue, ultimately, she had no other choice, but she obeyed. But no, even after the rain and the fierce wind that blew throughout the night, there yet stood against a brick wall one ivy leaf. There was only one ivy leaf left. It was the last on the vine, still dark green near the stem, but its edges tilted with yellow. Tinted with yellow means what? Slightly, you can call it color, is very slight or very light color, fainted color. It hung bravely from a branch some 20 feet above the ground. "It is the last one," said Jonesy. "I thought it would surely fall during the night. I heard the wind. It will fall today, and I shall die at the same time." So again in her thoughts, what she said that if it will fall, then again I'm going to die. Huh? Then surely she's going to die. Jonesy was preparing herself for the last journey. That one makes alone. Makes alone. See, everyone has to die alone. In our life, your only thing that is the unpredictable or which is in the hands of the Almighty, that is the time of your death. So here also, she was preparing for her last journey. That one makes alone. That is, when you die alone. You are not being accompanied by anybody. The feelings was very strong within her, and the ties of this fused friendship and the other things on the earth became loose one by one. The day wore away, but even through the twilight, they could see the lone means alone, ivy leaf clinging means hanging to its stem against the wall. At night again the wind ragged and the rain poured, and next day when it was light enough, Jonesy asked Sue to open the window. The ivy leaf was still there. So here we find that um, the leaf was still there, and the twilight, you can call it, it is a sunset. See, a time after the sunset, but before it is dark, that time is known as twilight. So she wanted to see that whether the leaf was there or not. Jonesy lay for a long time looking at it. Then she called Sue. "Sue dear," she said, "I have been a bad girl. Something has made the last leaf stay there to show me how wicked I was. It is a sin to want to die." Now, though she had said that, but actually, what had happened that night in the cold weather when it was heavily raining along with the snow, mingled with the snow, Mr. Billman, he was busy painting that last leaf that is a masterpiece of his life. See, that man has sacrificed, though he himself was not feeling well, but then also for saving the life of Jonesy, he woke the whole night and then he painted. After that, she was ready to make the broth, to take the broth and the milk that Stew brought her. After she was convinced that yes, it is wrong to think of death, so she was ready to take the broth, that is the soup and the milk that Stew brought her. She wanted to sit up in the bed. "Someday I hope to paint the Bay of Naples." So afterwards, there was a sudden change in her behavior and there was a will to live. And so she said that someday I hope that I will paint the Bay of Naples. Mr. Billman downstairs was now ill with pneumonia, and the sweeper had found him lying helpless in the room in a very wet clothes and shoes. He also found some scattered brushes and a palette. Palette means on which you mix the colors with the green and yellow color mixed on it. 2 days later, Mr. Bisman died in a hospital. What a tragedy. The last ivy leaf was still there on the wall. It never fluttered. It never fluttered means it never moved only, na, because it was not a real leaf. It was only just a painting. So it never fluttered or moved when the wind blew. It was Brisman's last masterpiece. He had painted it there that night when the last leaf had fallen. Adopted from The Last Leaf by O. Henry. So this great man, he has sacrificed his life. He himself, he had woke that night and then he had painted that masterpiece. And this masterpiece, after seeing this leaf, Johnson thought that yes, that God is indicating that yes, I need to survive. So I hope you all have understood this story very well, and always have in your mind that whatever happens, it happens to the best. But it is your belief, your conviction, whatever it happens. See, in everybody's destiny it's in his own hand, but it is your own mindset that makes you drive there. Thank you, children, once again. And if you like my educational video, kindly like it and subscribe it. Thank you all once again, and God bless you all.